DoorDash has been doing something lately with stacked orders that, in my opinion, makes us feel more like employees than independent contractors. And if you're not careful, it can turn your dash into straight up gambling with your money and your platinum status. So today I'm breaking down exactly how these new stacked orders actually work, why they are so dangerous if you're not careful, and how to be smart about when to pause and when to keep going so you can keep your money, not DoorDash. Let's get into it. So, what is DoorDash doing with stacked orders now? So, here's what I'm seeing more and more almost every single day and almost every single shift. You accept what looks like a normal stacked order: two customers, sometimes two drop offs, two restaurants, one drop off. And then you see the payout looks decent enough and you think, okay, it's worth it, let's do it. But then before you even walk into the restaurant or even the grocery store, you suddenly get another add-on order popping up onto your screen. Sometimes it's like another order for the same restaurant or same grocery store or another restaurant close by, or a completely different stop altogether, like a convenience store. And then after you drop off your first order, let's keep it real, you already have three, but you just dropped off one of your three, they hit you again with another add-on order. One more pickup before you deliver the rest. And then this can keep going and going until you manually pause your dash. You're thinking it's more money, right? So what's the problem? Well, that original stacked order payout, you usually don't really know the full picture until you're done with the whole run of orders. You're trying to keep up with the totals in your head while DoorDash keeps throwing more and more at you. So why does it feel like your employee, at least in my opinion, you're going to have to let me know what you think about this, but here's why it kind of rubs me the wrong way. Well, as an independent contractor, we're supposed to be able to see the offer, see the pay, say yes, say no. That's the deal. Not so much with Platinum, but with this new way of stacking, you're starting one job that you agreed, and then you keep adding more work to that job. You don't see the full payout until you're finished really doing everything, because most likely that very last order drop off is part of your original stacked order. But you see everything they attach to it, but that feels like less like being your own boss and more like, hey, you're already out there, just do this too. And oh, by the way, do this one too. Oh, yeah, by the way, do this one too, until you say, whoa, enough's enough. Let me pause the dash. You're not clearly agreeing to each job with full information. It kind of feels like they're treating your acceptance of the first stack as permission to keep loading you up like an employee on an actual shift. And meanwhile, you're driving more miles than you planned, spending more time than you actually planned on doing, and trying to guess if this is even really worth the time you're invested in doing a lot of these orders in a row. Granted, it does keep you busy. I'm not going to take anything away from that. But when you look at these, is the money they're offering worth the time it's taking you to do all these orders that DoorDash is actually throwing at you? So how do they actually trap platinum drivers? I'm a platinum driver with some of these bad add-ons. Let's think DoorDash wise, right? Let's talk about platinum for a second. Well, if you're platinum, you know you've worked hard to keep your ratings up, right? And DoorDash knows that too. So what kind of add-ons do they love to throw at you in some of these stacked orders if you're not careful? Well, you sometimes get those $2 add-ons because they're thinking, why not? She's on her way. And if you look at it, okay, 10, 15 minutes for $2, not worth it. But then you can also maybe get like a $5 shop for like 15 to 20 items. And you're like, no, not happening. Decline. Long distance add-ons for very low pay, and they do it all the exact moment you feel pressure to accept it because you're already either mid-stack or even mid-shop. You don't want to tank your acceptance rate. You don't want to lose platinum or your priority access. So now you're not just thinking, is this order worth it? You're thinking, if I decline this, am I going to lose platinum, or am I going to go down far enough that's going to be hard for me to get back up? And am I going to lose some of the good orders later? And it becomes more of a decision process, right? And that's how they get a lot of platinum drivers to take some of the worst orders. And if they're shoving these orders at any driver, are you more pressured to take it because you're already doing 2 or 3 orders? Okay, here's a 4th one. Okay, here's a 5th one. And you're like, what the? Next thing you know, you're like, what the heck just happened? How did I just complete 5 orders or 6 orders if you keep on going? So why does this actually feel like gambling to me? Well, the whole experience does feel like you're at a casino, right? Think about this. Your first stacked order is your buy-in. Every extra add-on they throw at you is just another card on the table. You don't know your final payout until you've already invested your time, gas, energy. You're constantly hoping maybe the hidden tip will be worth it if you get one with a plus sign, or maybe the total will be higher at the end if you're not a platinum dasher, or maybe this one more add-on is okay, or if I take this add-on, will they give me even a better one down the road? It's all the unknowns, which is kind of where the gambling comes in. You're gambling on the money that you're making that DoorDash is doing it. And then you're like, oh, should I pause or should I wait for another order to come in, if an order to come in? But what happens if I get like a $2 order and then I just lost it on keep making sure I didn't pause? It's like that guessing game of what is DoorDash going to do next. But just like gambling, the house is the one that really knows the odds, right? DoorDash knows the odds that are stacked against you. And the house, it's not you. If you're not careful, you end up maybe working 45 minutes for what you thought was a good stack. And then after the add-ons and extra miles, you look at the final total and you go, wait, I did all that for this? So when to pause versus when to keep going, because let's talk positive for a second, right? These could be worth your time if you think about the system smartly and use pause to your favor, right? So how do you protect yourself? Well, here is something I've noticed and how I sometimes handle what's going on. So I have a couple of things that I do for myself. I guess you want to call it rules, but I know them up here because I made them for myself. For me, no $2 add-ons if I have the decline to give, or $5 shop for 20 items. And if something pops up that breaks my own rules, I decline it. But I always know where I'm at with acceptance rates, and I always keep a cushion for when orders like that do come in, I can just decline them. I don't negotiate with myself in the moment. Also, watch how many times they add on. Personally, if I see them trying to add on more than twice during a run, like that's a little bit of my red flag, unless the order flow is good and the add-ons are good as well. But the first add-on I see, I look very carefully at the distance, the pay. The second add-on, is it better? Is it really good? The third order by this time, am I pausing after I finish? Am I pausing before? Here's the thing with pause. And this is how I do it. If I get an add-on and it's good, fantastic. I'm going to keep it on to kind of see if more is going to come in. That's along the same orders that have been coming in is a platinum. And then the minute that I start to get those $2 orders or a bad add-on, that's usually when I pause. The thing with pausing now, allow yourself to catch your breath and kind of reset. If you keep taking order after order after order, the next thing you know, it's 2 or 3 hours later and you're like, where did my time go? I didn't eat. I didn't take a pee break. I'm just going. And like, what am I doing? And is the money really worth it? But I'm going to tell you this, protect your mental math as well. If you find yourself saying, I think this is worth it. I think I'm around like $20 an hour. That usually means it might not be worth it because it's not that, because you haven't done the math in your head. You should be able to clearly say, well, I just drove X amount of miles for X amount of minutes, and this is how much money I made, or I think this is how long it's going to take me. Is the money worth me doing it for this amount of time? Nothing ever says DoorDash is easy. These stacked orders are decisions that you have to make if DoorDash keeps giving them to you. You know, platinum is always good. That's how I operate in my market. But it's also, I don't work for free with those $2 orders or $5 for like 20 items. To me, those are just not worth it, which is where you have to work smarter. And you have to think, is this order really worth the time I'm investing in a lot of these stacked order runs? The days of a double, triple, quadruple are over. We're talking now, we're up to like 5 and 6 in just one stacked order. And it can kind of keep going until you hit that pause button. So here's my opinion. Yes, these stacked orders can definitely keep you busy. Some of them can definitely be worth the money, and you can get some good payouts out of it. Yes, they feel convenient when they line up well and everything works in your favor. But the way DoorDash constantly add on orders, hides full pictures until the very end, and preys on some of the platinum drivers because they know that they're going to take some of these crap orders, that's where it starts to feel less like independent contractor work and more like an employee treatment. You have to be smart, right? Set your own rules before you dash. I just listed a couple of mine that I have up in my head. Know when to pause. Know when enough is enough. And now I want to hear from you. Have you seen this new style of stacked ordering in your market? Is that what we're even calling it? What's the worst add-on that they've tried to throw at you in the middle of the run? Better yet, drop a comment and tell me what is the most amount of add-ons you've taken in a row to do some of these stacked orders. If this helped you, I need you to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done already, and also share this with other dashers so they don't get caught in this stacked order trap. You know, DoorDash does some crazy things to us dashers, and I talk about them all the time. If you're looking for the next DoorDash video to watch, I'm going to suggest this one up next, and I'll see you over there.